Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another perfume review video. My name is Naz. This is my channel, the King of Hidden Gems. I try to bring to your attention fragrances are usually very good value for money. They smell good, they're usually on the radar, not many people talk about them. I think at least you should do your research, try them for yourself and see if they're any good to you. So in this video I have another update for you, and this is the house of Al Haramain, and this perfume in particular is called Al Haramain Oudh Burma. Is 75ml, it's Eau de Perfume, and it retails for £100. I purchased it myself, and this video is not sponsored, it's not affiliated, nothing, just for your information, and that's it. So I've been wearing it for the last 2 days, and I am very happy to say this is a gorgeous fragrance. But there are a few caveats which I will talk about later. This one, in terms of performance, performs super well. On my skin went over 10 hours. On the material goes for days. And in terms of projection, I got about 2 to 3 hours of an arm length of projection, and after that it will slowly subside and it becomes closer to the skin. But you always feel it, you always smell it, because you move around, and it's a dense and thick fragrance, and you can smell it all day long. You don't need more than 5 or 6 sprays of it. It's very strong, especially in the beginning. It's very strong. So you have to be careful with the trigger. This is one of those fragrances. When I mentioned performance, when I mentioned longevity and the projection, this is on me, my experience, this is my bottle, this is my environment and my climate. So for you, you could be different because you live in a different climate, you have a different skin, and you have a different nose, and blah blah blah. Okay, so always remember that. In terms of gender, this is targeted unisex, but to my nose this is quite masculine. So if you like this kind of fragrances, it doesn't mean anything. If you're a lady, you can easily wear it, but to my nose it's quite on the masculine side, especially because of the oud and the smokiness of it, and the dark amber in here, making it a little bit on the quite on the rugged side, especially with the leather in here. In terms of season, definitely is suited for cooler weather. We are in the middle of winter. I wore it for the last 2 days and it performed beautifully. So this is predominantly is a cooler weather fragrance. Obviously you pay for a fragrance if you like to wear it in the middle of summer. Who we are to tell you not to do it? In terms of the occasion, this is opulent perfume. This is very high end. This smells niche. It smells very beautiful, very well done, very rounded. So all these things making it very good for evening, special occasion, formal occasion, special, and things like that. And for the ratio for what I paid and what I get is excellent in terms of presentation, excellent in terms of the smell, excellent in terms of the longevity, excellent in terms of the smell, and the perfumery and the ingredients are quite natural smelling in here. And so it smells much more expensive than £100. It smells like £200–300 to me, because it smells quite niche like fragrance in here. So in terms of smell itself, this is predominantly a dark amber fragrance. So if you like a dark amber fragrance, this is for you. One of the caveats is this is not for everybody, although it's not challenging by any means. It's not funky, or it's not too rugged or animalic, or none of those. It's none of those, but the spices and the smokiness and the leatheriness of it, and also the basically the other ingredients like the oud, like the amber in here, making it quite dark. And it's not the darkest fragrances out there. It's quite on the moderate side in terms of darkness, but it could be challenging for some noses. Okay, I think for most people, if you are a mature person and you've been around fragrances for a long time, and you like something different, something opulent, something that is not mainstream. This is not mainstream. This is not crowd pleasing fragrance in any way you shape. So this is for people who appreciate high-end perfumery, artistry, high-end oriental fragrances. Although it's a very, very oriental fragrance, when you sniff it immediately will tell you that I am an oriental amber, but it's got some elements in it. It's making it a little bit on the easier side of things. For example, there is a lavender in here, which makes it quite aromatic, especially first half of life of this fragrance. So the first half that lavender making it a little bit aromatic, a little bit on the shall we say half freshness, but overall this is not a fresh fragrance. This is a deep, dark, dense fragrance, but it gives it a hint of freshness in the beginning. But almost mid life of this fragrance, that the lavender will disappear and you will end up with a darker notes. So it gets a little bit darker. Overall, this is doesn't change that much. It has two stages. First stage, which is the first half of life of this fragrance, and the second stage. The second stage gets a little bit darker, a little bit sweeter, and also woodier. In the beginning, it's got more spices, and the spices in here, to my nose, is cinnamon, is a combination of nutmeg, and also there is a cumin in here. So you need to like your cumin, because the cumin in here is quite prominent, especially the first half of life of this fragrance. I adore cumin. I love cumin because the cumin in here gives it that warmth. Okay. And the warmth of this fragrance, it will cuddle you. It's like a cuddling, I don't know, pashmina around you. Is so warm and almost hot. Almost you feel hot. It's so warm in this fragrance. So it's very warm overall. It's very hot in terms of nature of this fragrance. And the second half, you will feel the leather more, the woods more, and also get a little bit sweeter. The sweetness is come from the tonka bean and also the benzoin in here, which they dance super well together, and they go very well together. Plus that leather, the leatheriness, the benzoin, the tonka bean giving that nutty feel, and cocoa also it gives it a little bit darker feel. So the leather here is quite rugged, but it's not an animalic leather, but it's quite dark and rugged leather. And the oud in here overall is very safe oud. It's not challenging, it's not barnyard, it's not funky whatsoever. It's quite an mainly it's got a supportive role. You will smell it, you will feel it definitely, but it's not a huge player by all means. The biggest player is the amber in here. From beginning to end, you always feel the amber, and the amber in here is quite dark and dense and thick and resinous and spicy and sweet and sticky, and it is not a fluffy effervescent transparent amber in here. Amber is very dark and dense, so you need to like this kind of amber to enjoy it. It's got earthy elements to it as well, which is come from mainly vetiver and patchouli, which is not mentioned. The note breakdown is quite minimalistic. When I'm mentioning a note and you don't see it there, because I can smell it but I couldn't find it in the note breakdown. So there's a big patchouli element in here, and the vetiver together giving it that earthy chocolatey feel. Especially the second half of this fragrance, it becomes more chocolatey and becomes more like almost like a Christmas cake to some extent. It's so beautiful with that benzoin and that chocolatey patchouli in here. But don't forget the other elements like the dark leather and the oud, and also to some extent it's got some smokiness to it. I'm not sure where that come from. Is it from the oud, or is it from the leather? Is it from incense? It doesn't mention any incense in here. I can smell something like dark incense maybe in here as well, which is not mentioned in note breakdown as well, but giving it that smoky feel, especially the second half. The first half you don't feel it that much. So it's got a very, very layered and very complex fragrance. This is very multifaceted. It changes a little bit, not too much, but overall this is very well done. This is high perfumery, this is high ingredients. The ingredients smells supernatural to me. It doesn't smell synthetic whatsoever, which is amazing for this price point. But again, it could be challenging for some noses. Majority of people who are 30 and years and older, if you like this kind of fragrances, which is amber, dark, smoky, leathery, woody, sweet, sticky, amber. If you like this kind of fragrances, so you will enjoy this. I absolutely enjoyed it to the max. This is up my alley. I'm a middle-aged man. I'm a Middle Eastern man. I love this kind of perfumes anyway, so this is up my alley and I absolutely enjoyed it. It's just mesmerizingly beautiful. Something about it shouts super quality. Okay guys, so overall I highly recommend this perfume if you are out to after this kind of fragrances and you want it to be the best of the best. This is one of the best out there. There is no similarity to any perfumes out there. If somebody inevitably will ask me, what does it remind you of? It doesn't remind me anything. It's quite unique. It's not unique in terms of when you smell it, you smell some components of it some other places, obviously, because amber is very widely used in perfumery, especially for masculine fragrances. So in that term, you smell some similarity with some other fragrance, but on its own, overall, is quite a unique fragrance, which is very hard to do these days, especially with there are thousands of perfumes out there. Okay guys, if you have it, if you know it, if you tried it, let us know your experience. That would be useful for others to read. If you like what I do, if you find it useful, informative, valuable, or entertaining, don't forget to hit those buttons. This way help me, encourage me, motivate me to bring you fragrances like this in future that nobody else is talking about. They're amazing, value for money, they smell great, and they're hidden gems, and this beauty is definitely a hidden gem. And by the way, sometimes you can find it a little bit discounted here and there. At the moment, you know, it's quite hard to find for some reason, apart from the Al Haramain website. It's not nowhere else to be seen, but if you are patient, you might find it discounted some other places. Anyway, so if you would like to purchase one of my own perfume, I leave them in the link as well. I'm the perfumer, I'm the artist, I'm the worker. Nobody else is involved. From the raw ingredients to the perfume itself, is all me. And they are ultra beast mode, very artistic, very beautiful, very unique perfumes, and they are super strong. I'll leave them in the link as well. As always, just hit those buttons and comment. Let us have some conversation. I'll appreciate it very much. Thank you very much. As always, see you later. Bye.